So I get sent a lot of 3D printers. And that means a lot of 3D printed sponsored videos. But a while back, I did a special type of video called 3D Printer Update. Here's the thumbnail, where I talked about some of these machines that I had been testing for a few months after those sponsored videos came out. Did my voice just crack? After those sponsored videos came out. Now, this isn't to say that I wasn't being truthful in those videos, but sometimes once I'm done testing a printer or I make a video about it, sometimes I don't touch it again, or I offload it or donate it, or it just goes into the ether. Well, in that 3D printer update video, I wanted to talk about some of the printers I had just reviewed and some of the printers I was currently in the process of testing and reviewing. And guess what, guys? We're gonna do it again because that video did actually pretty well and you guys seem very receptive of it. This video isn't sponsored by anybody. We're gonna be talking about a cavalcade of machines. So let's get started. So in this video, I want to talk about the Sovol SV08 Max, which is sitting right over there. I want to talk about the Snapmaker U1, which is sitting over in the garage. I want to talk about, I have it on my computer screen right there. I want to talk about the Bambu Lab P2S, which I just recently, that's my newest video, I think. Is it? No, there's one more in between it, the Iron Man Prime Armor. Anyway, the Bambu Lab P2S, and then a couple more oddities that I just got. The Creality K2 Pro, the QIDI Tech Q2, and sitting underneath here is the Anycubic Cobra S1. Yes, I finally got my hands on an S1. No thanks to Anycubic. Bruh. So let's just start, and we're gonna talk about the machines, my experiences with them so far, if it's even getting a review video, and the pros and cons, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. So let's just start with the biggest printer. Actually, yeah, the biggest printer in my arsenal right now, the Sovol SV08 Max. I'm not picking this up. It sits under here. Hi guys, this is a new part of the room you've never seen. This is the Sovol SV08 Max. Me for scale. It is a 500 cubed 3D printer. I don't know why I'm talking and leaning over like it's gonna change the mic. I'm sorry about that. I have been waiting for this printer for quite a while. I've had it for a little bit. I haven't been testing it quite as much as I should have. I'm a little behind in the video. Sorry, Sovol. This was not printed on that. Anyway, 500 cube. Are you done? 500 cubed Core XY. The reason it's turned off right now is because it is a little bit of a loud printer. Yeah, you guys definitely heard that turn on. There are a lot of fans on it, but it's been performing just fine. It has handles on the side. It has this really interesting filament buffer system that feeds the filament through. Has a plethora of cable management, cable chains. It is a little tricky to assemble. This is one of the more complicated printers I've assembled in the past 3 years, because if it came to you in this in a box this big, it'd be a lot. So you do need to assemble it. It was pretty easy to put together. I'm 99% sure Danny was here when we put this together, and I threw a couple small things at it because I wanted to know how does it do little detailed stuff. And you know what? It handled the benchies just fine. It was actually coming out pretty good. I sent 2 for good measure. And then I sent a bunch of chess pieces all at the same time. I believe we sent 9 of them. I literally had them sitting around the build plate like this in different angles and corners because I wanted to know how it would do printing multiple things, moving here and there and there. And all of these came out the exact same quality. Honestly, pretty smooth, deceptively smooth. And then I printed a vase with really poor adhesion. The color changed, it paused, resumed. It wasn't the best. It could have been better. And then I ran out of filament on this chest plate for an Iron Man suit. And then I printed this in Bambu PLA metal. And look at that. That's really impressive for a 500 cubed printer. And supports came off fine. And obviously that has to do with the profiles and stuff. But this print is really cool. Oh, and then I one-shotted these blades in PETG, and they are really strong. The layer adhesion on them, I can't break these. I've tried. I don't know why I tried. I know I tried. These are printed for my friend Madison for her Scyther cosplay. And yeah, 4-wall PETG. It's even airtight. You can hear there's a hole in it. I don't know if you can hear that. But yeah, this printer's been performing really well. It still needs a little bit more testing. There are a couple quirks with it that I want to tease out before that video comes out. I need to print something massive in it. Like I said, this is the biggest thing I printed so far, but I have had no issues with it. Make sure the bed's clean. It likes some filament more than others, but I haven't had any weird pauses or failures. It's just been some adhesion things or filament runouts. But Yeah, good job, Sovol. I just don't know about the longevity of it yet because I really haven't put a lot of hours into it, but hopefully this gets a couple of you aimed in the right direction. This is the best 500 cube printer I've ever used. The Creality CR10S5 was a pile of dog water, and Comgrow has their T500, which is a bed slinger. Get this. Hey, we're moving around. Look at that. We're in the garage now. Anyway, the Bambu Lab P2S, and I'm going to iterate again here, guys, because there's some confusion in some other videos, and it's just part of making content. No one's ever going to fully believe or trust me, and I've had to say this a couple times in different mediums, but like anytime I put out a review video, the companies don't get to pick what I say. If I say something's wrong with that printer, I leave it in the video. And if I don't say too many bad things about the printer, it's because I didn't run into any issues. They don't get any editorial rights over my machines, my videos. I don't send like, hey, here's the video draft, Bambu, what do you think? And they're like, well, actually, you kind of talked about the ventilation thing, or I literally recommend the P1S at the end of that video. Like, no companies get say over what I say about their printers. I will talk bad on a printer if a printer is bad. And I don't have the same experiences that some other people might have with their machines. If YouTuber B ran into this issue and I didn't, I didn't run into that issue. That happens a lot. The best example I've ever gotten of this is Galactic Armory with his K1 Max and his QIDI Tech Q3 or 3. It was a QIDI Tech X Max 3 or something. Mine sucked. I loved my K1 Maxes. He hated the K1 Max and loved his QIDI Tech. We just had different experiences with those printers. So yeah, the P2S, this thing I still love. I've only gotten a couple more prints off of it after that P2S video, but I just want to put in this video just how reliable this printer was out of box. This is going to be my like top holiday recommendation for like Black Friday and all of that and Christmas. It's been great. I haven't had any issues with it, but I'm still going to sit here and recommend the P1S if it's your first printer, unless you want the touchscreen, unless you want the camera. There's no reason to go and upgrade to the P2S if you already have an X1 Carbon or a P1S. Like, this is a gap filler. This is the new because I saw some comment somewhere that someone had basically said, well, they barely changed anything, or like this wasn't that, you know, this wasn't that big of an upgrade. It kind of was, because the P1S and the X1 Carbon are actually kind of old now. So this is the new user interface, the new touchscreen, the new camera, their whole new system, and it's just replacing the P1S. And eventually, I'm sure there will be an X2 Carbon and an X2E or whatever the heck. So yeah, I still have nothing but good things to say about this printer, and this isn't a sponsored video, and I don't care what Bambu thinks about what I say. I've had issues with some of their other machines before, and this just wasn't one of them. Okay, please don't mind the mess. How's the lighting in here? Lighting here is not too bad. I never get to wear this shirt. I love this shirt. It's a one-piece shirt. Improvising. There are actually a lot of machines behind me right now, and we're gonna kind of talk about all of them. The first one we are gonna talk about is the Snapmaker U1. Now, it's been performing pretty nicely. I have ran into a couple small problems with it. I have reported those back to Snapmaker, and I'm waiting for some like firmware updates and some feedback. This is also a beta unit. This is also not one of the exact units you guys are gonna get if you did back the Kickstarter, but I did start having a very weird issue always at the same layer height. No matter what model I was printing, it's having a tool changer error at the same layer height where it pauses, I resume it, I pause, resume it, and sometimes it's picked back up. Sometimes it picked back up just fine, like with this Umbreon, but there was still a really significant layer shift where it picked back up. It kept going into an error state. Like from a distance, it looks great. It's still performing what it's supposed to properly, a tool changer, multicolor printer, but now I'm running into just a weird issue where I also printed this Gojo duck for my niece, and this came out fine. It went right past that layer limit. So I don't know if it has to do with the data being sent over the network. I'm still trying to tease it out. So I'm not too happy about that, but when it does work, it works just fine. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure this is just a me issue. My particular unit was something. I haven't seen anybody else have this issue. I did go and check, and I'm waiting for some feedback. The printer's still been performing great. It hasn't given me any like failure issues. I think it's just something with the data transference or the G code, because it was working and then suddenly it's kind of not. So I don't know if it's a connector issue, something that needs to be teased out. More information is required on this, but I'm still excited about this printer, and I don't think anybody, nobody should, don't go and like, oh my God, I'm gonna back out of it. I still think it's a good machine and a good investment, but I think I'm just having a one-off issue with it right now. And actually sitting right next to it is the Flashforge AD5X. This is a pretty cool little printer. It's been working actually very nicely for me in terms of just doing prints. It's a multicolor printer. It has one nozzle, so it has a little changer system, not quite an AMS system, but it has 4 tubes that get fed into one nozzle, and it's been performing pretty nicely. I'm just sending big prints at it right now. I did have a little bit of a clog in it. One of the spools got tangled actually because it was a cardboard spool. And then the, here it is. The red ended up not finishing, so it kept printing all the other colors. It didn't know that the red was clogged, so there is no tangle or pressure feature to know that the filament's not running through. It's a cheap printer. I want to say it's like 500 and something. So it's been performing pretty nicely. It's an open air. It's basically a Bambu P1P with just like a frame and a multicolor system on it. So it's a all-in-one nice enclosed unit. It doesn't take up a lot of space. You don't need the tall AMS, even though it takes up, it's about the same height. So it's a pretty neat printer. There will be a video on this specifically coming out. Flashforge did ask me to make one, and I'm going to continue to beat it up, send more than just these cute little ghosts on it, and then actually put out a video. And by then I'll know if it's a good recommendation or not. The video will be more about this printer, but honestly, right now there's probably better stuff on the market for that price point that you can get enclosed. So it's a little bit of a tough sale right now, but it's been performing nice. And Flashforge isn't a bad brand, so you're not gonna be remiss if you ended up with this machine. All right, it's a little crammed over here. I'm very sorry about that. The other two real quick touches. The Centauri Carbon, I really haven't used this much since I put it back here in the garage. It always worked really well for me. I do need to fire this back up because I'm going to be testing this against a couple other machines, and I'll explain that once I get back inside. And then the Prusa Core one, again, haven't turned it on since that video. I did want to keep beating it up. After that video, I will have you guys know, Prusa did immediately reach out to me about any of the issues I was having because their customer service and support is really good. And we're still working on that. And if, you know, I'm working with Prusa on that. They want to fix any issues I was having. They want to make sure that it's not bleeding out into other machines. Maybe I just got a one-off oddity machine. More research is required. So it really was really nice for them to reach out about that. And honestly, Elegoo's customer support's been pretty good too. Now, granted, I have different contacts than the average Joe, and the person who sent me the Centauri Carbon, my actual contact for Elegoo, they've been very nice back and forth. And yeah, I actually like this machine. As far as anything coming out in the future, I haven't been told anything about a multicolor system for it, a larger Centauri Carbon, a Centauri Carbon 2, nothing. This is, as far as I know, this is what we got. This is what they're gonna have going into the holiday season. And you know, really not a bad option. A $300 Core XY enclosed printer or a $200 Core XY open air printer, pretty much like that Flashforge AD5X. Not a bad deal at all. I really like this printer. I'm glad Elegoo was able to pull this off. Do you guys know I have a lot of resin printers? I don't talk about them a lot. I just did a sponsored video with the Anycubic M3. I don't even know where I put it. It's right there. It's down there. I still have the Elegoo Saturn IV 16K and the Jupiter. I've never turned this thing on. I still love my Frozen, my Megasonic 8KSs, and I think I have another resin printer sitting somewhere. They're all the same. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of hate making videos on resin printers because they're all the same. You get what you pay for. You want a large resin printer, you're gonna pay for a large resin printer. If you want a small one, you pay for a small one. It's probably gonna be the Mars 5. It's a great printer. Actually, my Creality Halot Pro Ultra, I don't know, that thing is amazing. Resin printing's weird. They kind of just all work. And I don't know. Get a resin printer. Okay, last but not least, the rest of the printers. The Creality K2 Pro, the QIDI Tech Q2, and the Anycubic Cobra S1. It's in a box down there. I still haven't opened it up. And the reason I grabbed these printers is I'm doing a very fun comparison video of the best budget Core XY machines on the market right now. And that's going to include the Bambu Lab P2S, the Creality K2 Pro, the Prusa Core 1, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon, the QIDI Tech Q2, and the Anycubic Cobra S1. I guess I can include the Flashforge AD5X, because if you're not doing multicolor printing on it, like it works good, but then theoretically you just have a you just have a printer with a built-in AMS system, automatic material management system. So if you run 4 spools, it can just keep going and reload them, which is also a good benefit. Like the multicolor systems, the AMSs, the CFSs, the ACE systems, you don't need to do multicolor with them. You can have 4 of the same color, and this way when spool 1 runs out, it just moves to spool 2 and so on. That's what I use my machines for. I don't do a lot of multicolor printing. I just have a bunch of ASA and PLA in my printers, so when 1 spool runs out, it just auto loads and it uses all of the filament. So the AD5X is good for that too. So I'm gonna be comparing all of these printers, the price points, their print quality, little notes and quirks about out of the box. Like for example, the K2 Pro right now, I already like this more than the K2 Plus. It was easier to set up, and it's been working really well. Granted, I've only gotten 4 prints off of it, like literally unboxed it 2 days ago, but it's been working good. It's probably gonna have the same CFS issue with that buffer spring. Check 3D Printing Reddit. I'll link something down below to explain that the CFSs do have an issue, but if you just hook it up to the normal spool or you don't have the CFS and you're not doing multicolor, if you just want it for a printer, it's a fairly large Core XY machine. I don't know the actual full size of the machine. Like, oh, the K2 Pro is 300 cubed. It's actually way bigger than I thought it was. Wow, really? Huh, neat. That's a really good size. That's what she said. And the K2 Pro by itself is $849. So if you're looking at about a $550, $600 for the P1S. Is this the only 300 cubed printer on the market right now? This is the only 300 cubed printer on the market right now. All the rest are Bambu size, 256, like 260, maybe even 270. The Snapmaker is 270 cubed because they wanted it just a little bit bigger. But I've always loved 300 cubed because that gives you sizes for helmets without having to cram it on a small Bambu size printer. And I just got, like I said, I just got this thing. That's interesting. Huh. The K1 Max was 300 cubed. Weird, Creality naming things weird. This is probably getting its own dedicated review video. I just wish this worked better. Anyway, enough rambling about that thing. This setup really good out of box. The QIDI Tech Q2 set up really good out of box. I got 1 print off of it, and then the next print spaghetti, it failed. So that's not great. The user interface is behind. It's not even fully in English. Whatever person or people or company they hired to do the UI translations, they missed some things. It takes you out of it a little bit. When you have products like the Bambus, when you have products like even the Crealities and the Elegoos, where everything is translated nice, and it makes it feel less cheap when everything is in perfect English. And I know this is a first world problem, I get that, but it just kind of sucks when the UI feels like a step backwards, or it feels like they just didn't put a lot of effort into it. Now, I'm gonna clean the bed, I'm gonna run a leveling sequence, I'm gonna let it reprint again. This is literally the second print off of it. Could have just been a fluke, and then I'm going to resend it. The build quality is great. This is much better than any other QIDI printers I've ever gotten. So I like it. It's a really good size. I'm definitely going to be testing it. I'm going to be printing the same thing on all of these machines. I'll have to figure out how to test the printers and the quality, and there'll be a whole ranking for that. I'm going to send the same print on each printer, multiple prints, big, small, detail, probably PLA, PETG, ASA, see how they all handle it. And then I'll do a couple multicolor prints just to see how their material system works, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on that because I don't care how good the material system is. For multicolor, if the print quality itself sucks, who cares? Hope that makes sense. I'll figure it out. Okay guys, that's gonna pretty much do it for this video. Like I said, you guys seem to really be receptive of that last style video I did of this, where I was just giving you my little feedback and updates. And it's nice to just be able to talk more about the machines once those videos are done. Like the H2D is a good example. I was only able to really get that machine tested and used for a little bit before I had to get that video out for my obligation with Bambu. Like, hey, we send you the printer, please make a video for us. And that's usually what the deal is. That's what I'm trying to iterate and explain in these types of videos, where they don't have say over what I say. They just send me the thing, and that's the trade-off. It's not orchestrated, scripted, whatever. They're just like, hey, test the machine, say the thing, put it out. Hopefully it's good. And I've had a lot of good experience with the machines, and you guys know when I don't, because I put that in the video. Yeah, with these machines and all the other machines that have been being sent, it's nice to be able to actually beat these up and test them and then just do this type of stuff. I'm very excited about all the stuff coming out for the rest of the year and all of next year, and the holidays are gonna be a lot of fun, and I just have a lot of cool cool projects in the works. So if you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns about anything you saw in the video, please leave some comments down below. You know, I read all of them and I'll respond to as many as possible. And if you like this style video, you like the review videos, you like the build videos and the update videos and the cosplay and whatever, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because that helps the channel out and you get to stay up to date on everything I have in work and coming out. If you want to stay up to date in real time, please check out my Instagram because my Instagram stories are an absolute treasure trove of early looks, early releases, sometimes some leaks that otherwise wouldn't be on YouTube because I'm just filming them and throwing them up. So make sure you go check that out. It's also the best way to communicate with me if you're ever trying to get a hold of me, talk to me, and ask me questions. Also, since we're around the holiday season, please make sure you go check out my Etsy shop. I'm adding a bunch of stuff for the holidays and some of the stuff makes very cute gifts. And yeah, again, it helps support the channel and keep the lights on and I get to continue having the coolest job in the world and it's all thanks to you guys. But that's enough rambling. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. You have a good day.